at Boeing Field in Seattle.
Feels great. It feels really good. Relief.
An exhausted Jasmine Ikeda spoke exclusively with King 5 during her layover. This is her first time back in Washington State after 5 days in an Israeli prison.
I think once I land on Orcas and see my community again, it'll feel even better.
For the past month, Ikeda documented her voyage on Instagram. This was her last post before she was detained by the Israeli Navy while at sea.
We've done the drills many times, so I feel very confident that this will go well.
That post was captioned, "This is the most critical night." She says what followed was more than 20 hours on deck, held at gunpoint.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was probably one of the longest nights of my life. So they went around with cameras trying to offer us water bottles so that they could get footage and propaganda for them boarding our boats.
At least 22 Americans were detained while aboard a flotilla of more than 40 boats.
My colleagues, my comrades, yes, they were beaten. They're shoved around with their heads forced into the ground with people's knees.
Ikeda believes her U.S. passport protected her from the worst.
Bring Jazz home!
Her Orcas Island community organized protests.
Bring Jazz home!
And hundreds more erupted worldwide. But not everyone viewed the flotilla as a humanitarian mission. The U.S. State Department called it a deliberate and unnecessary provocation. To that, Jasmine's response is clear.
If we allow a genocide to happen before our eyes, then we're not standing on the right side of history.
The group behind the aid mission says Israeli officials released all of the activists, though it's unclear if all 22 Americans have returned to the U.S. Joyce.
And what can you tell us about whether this ceasefire deal had anything to do with why she was released?
Yeah, well, the short answer is it's unclear. What we do know is that Ikeda was released about 2 days before the ceasefire was announced. Undoubtedly, there were already negotiations underway. I asked Ikeda this very question. Does she think the ceasefire deal contributed to her release? She says she's not sure as well, but she does attribute all the protests that happened across the globe to helping her get out.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad she's home safe.